What's up traders, in this video I will be performing a market forecast on EURUSD using smart money concepts, so stay tuned. Now this is going to be my outlook on EURUSD for the month of November. We're going to be looking at the weekly, daily, as well as the 4-hour time frame, just to give us a feel of what price action is likely to do next in these last 2 days of October and then that first week of November. However, to kick things off, I want us to look at the DXY, the dollar index. Now, as you guys know, EURUSD is inversely correlated to the DXY, and establishing a directional bias on the DXY can sometimes act as a confluence for your analysis on EURUSD. So the dollar index, we're going to look at the weekly time frame first. We can see that we had this weekly bullish break to the upside. Price action created a new high before pulling back, and now from an internal point of view here on the weekly time frame, we can see that that pullback phase has essentially ended. Our internal has shifted bullish, which we'll look at a minute on the daily time frame. And I would say that now on the dollar index from a weekly time frame point of view, that next overall buy target will be this high up here at around 114.778. But prior to price action reaching that particular high, I would say the next initial target will be this weekly supply zone in here that has a really nice amount of imbalance that sits just below it. So from a weekly point of view, it would seem that our pullback phase has now concluded, our continuation phase has begun, and this weekly supply zone in here would essentially be our next weekly buy target. From the weekly time frame, if we drop down to the daily, you'll see how our daily time frame shifted from a bearish market state in here to a bullish market state here, indicating to us that that weekly pullback has now potentially ended and that we are now in a new weekly bullish continuation phase. We've recently put in a new daily week high and our daily pullback has begun. We can see that we had this daily change of character take place up here, indicating the start of our daily pullback phase. Now, if we are to see a daily pullback phase play out here on the DXY, then this particular daily demand zone would be our main sell target for that particular daily pullback phase. You'll notice that this daily demand zone is well priced within this particular daily range, and this would be essentially that first area where that underlying daily bullishness could continue from, provided we get a pullback into that area. One thing that's very important to note, however, is that the underlying momentum here on the DXY is definitely bullish. Taking into account what we're seeing here on the weekly time frame with that recent internal break to the upside and price action likely being drawn towards this weekly supply in here. So the underlying momentum is definitely bullish, and there is no guarantees that we will see a pullback towards this area before that continuation. But from a structural point of view, I would say that that is definitely the next potential play that we could be seeing here on the DXY. Now, if you've been finding it a bit tricky navigating the financial markets using smart money concepts and would like some guidance in your trading, then I suggest checking out my Patreon memberships. Link can be found in the description below. Now, heading back here to EURUSD on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are bearish overall. We're trading within this bearish weekly range. We have had a successful pullback into our premium priced area of that particular range. And after price action swept this weekly supply zone, we had that change of character where our internal structure shifted from a bullish market state to a bearish market state. And once that internal structure shifted bearish, that essentially signaled the start of our weekly bearish continuation phase. The current overall target for our weekly time frame is now going to be this weekly week low down here at around 0.95358. However, because we've recently seen this internal break of structure to the downside, there is that potential for seeing a internal pullback to offer some relief to this impulsive phase that we've seen that generated that internal break before price action potentially continues down lower. We can see that at the top of that internal range, we have a weekly supply zone that price action could potentially be drawn towards during that internal pullback phase before the continuation takes place. However, the underlying momentum in this pair is definitely bearish, and when you've got a strong amount of underlying momentum present in the market, you rarely see deep pullbacks occurring. From the weekly time frame, if we now drop down to that daily time frame, we can see how our daily structure shifted from a bullish market state after seeing these bullish breaks of structures in here to then shifting bearish after this bearish break of structure in here. This obviously indicated to us the start of that weekly bearish continuation phase. Now, after that break of structure, we had our daily change of character, which signaled the start of our daily pullback phase. We will see what that change of character looks like on the 4-hour time frame in just a minute. But our daily pullback phase has now begun, and this essentially allowed us to establish our new daily bearish range in here. So from a daily point of view, we're currently bearish overall, but we are currently experiencing a pullback phase. We have our first well-priced daily supply zone in here sitting at our equilibrium. This is what I regard to be the main initial target for our pullback phase, and this is essentially the first area where our daily bearish continuation can continue from. We can see that we have a nice amount of liquidity that sits just below the level. There is imbalance that price action can fill coming into that level. And then also we had a sweep of liquidity prior to the formation of that level. So this is a really good level for us to anticipate potential bearish continuations from. Obviously, above this particular daily supply zone, we have two more supply zones that are well priced within our range that price action could also continue bearish from, with the extreme zone being the preferred zone of the two, purely because of the fact that it sits within that weekly supply zone at the extreme of our daily range. And this is interesting because if I take you guys back to the DXY very quickly, you'll notice that we're anticipating a pullback here on the daily time frame towards daily demand in here, again at around 103,760s, 103,800s. So if we do get that pullback on the DXY down towards that area, then that would help support the idea that we're potentially going to be seeing a daily pullback here on the EURUSD in the opposite direction up towards this daily supply zone in here, because of the fact that these two are inversely correlated. Now, much like the DXY, our EURUSD does have a lot of underlying bearish momentum currently present in the market. And while it would be nice for us to see a pullback towards this area, there definitely is no guarantees that that is going to happen. But a pullback to this area would definitely be the ideal next play for EURUSD based on the structure that we can see in front of us at the moment. And then finally, to end things off, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we did have that bearish structure on the 4-hour time frame, which essentially facilitated that bearish impulse to the downside, which gave us the new break of structure. And then this was the point in here where we saw that change of character that signaled the start of our daily pullback phase. After that change of character took place, we had another break of structure to the upside here on the 4-hour time frame, which then allowed us to establish a new 4-hour range. So our 4-hour time frame is currently bullish, and it is bullish because it is facilitating our daily pullback phase. Now, we've already had a pullback here on the 4-hour time frame into our well-priced discount area in here, and we've had a mitigation of well-priced 4-hour demand. We can see again, it's a demand zone that has a nice amount of liquidity above it, which price action grabbed. On its way to mitigating the zone, there was a nice amount of imbalance just above the zone, which price action filled, on its way to mitigating the zone. And we also had this sweep of liquidity prior to the formation of this zone. So this is a well-priced, well-positioned 4-hour demand zone that does have the potential to facilitate our 4-hour bullish continuation up towards our 4-hour week high in here. Not only that, we've got this 4-hour supply zone that price action stopped just shy of mitigating prior to the formation of this new 4-hour week high. So this is another area that price action can be drawn towards to help facilitate that bullish continuation phase. But again, we need to remember the fact that the underlying momentum in this pair right now is bearish. The overall target, the overall objective of our daily time frame is a violation of this daily week low down here at around 104.482, and there is no guarantees that we will see a continuation of that daily pullback phase and a continuation of this new bullish 4-hour structure prior to the violation of this daily week low. However, from a structural point of view, that is ideally what I would like to see, specifically going into this first week of November. Now we do have this 4-hour demand zone in here that price action did not mitigate during previous ranges. If we are to see a violation of our 4-hour strong low, I would anticipate this 4-hour demand zone to generate a short-term bullish reaction before then price action rolls over to violate that daily week low. Another scenario that could potentially play out with regards to this previously unmitigated 4-hour demand zone is price action coming in here to interact with the strong low, but instead of violating the strong low, we probably get a wick through the level to tap into this 4-hour demand zone before price action continues up higher. So if we get that type of interaction with the 4-hour strong low where the level is not violated, but we do get a large wick down into this area, in that scenario, this 4-hour demand zone could help facilitate that bullish continuation up towards our 4-hour week high. So just to end things off very quickly here, our weekly time frame is bearish overall. Our weekly bearish continuation phase has begun. We've recently seen this internal break of structure to the downside, and we're now anticipating an internal pullback to take place. Now, our daily time frame is that internal structure that we talk about. And when we look at our daily time frame, we can see our most recent break of structure is a bearish one. Our daily time frame is currently bearish overall. Having established this new bearish range, we are anticipating a daily pullback to take place at least towards this daily supply zone in here before price action continues with that underlying bearish momentum to violate that daily week low. And because our 4-hour is regarded as the internal structure of our daily time frame, we would like to see our 4-hour time frame come together to facilitate that daily pullback up towards our daily supply zone in here. We can see that our 4-hour has already shifted bullish in here with our most recent range being a bullish one. We've already had a pullback into our well-priced 4-hour area. And now, from where we are at this point in time, we are anticipating we would like to see our 4-hour bullish continuation take place, targeting this 4-hour week high, ultimately pushing price up towards this daily supply zone in here. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.